You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network.
Welcome once again, everyone, to another edition of the NBL Live pregame show, and that's brought to you each and every week by our graphic sponsor, Web3KS.com. They do that overlay you see here on NBL Live, a ton of other graphics for us across the network, and they're super affordable. So if you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, head over to Web3KS.com. They are the leaders in affordable graphic design. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Kyle the Flat Killer Matt Miller, as we work our way up to this Week 12 matchup between the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. This should be a fun game. Kyle, I'm excited to have you here. What's going on? You excited for a little NBL Live action?
Yeah, back by popular demand. At least that's what I like to tell myself. Second NBL Live.
It's not that. Now settle down.
Second NBL Live. I'm pretty stoked to see a good division matchup right here, and it should be a good one.
Yeah, Giants and Redskins, a battle in that NFC East. Very competitive. Giants having a great season, sitting there at 8-2. Redskins looking to stay in the playoff hunt. They're at 4-6. Now, before we get to the game, before we get to talk more about what's going on, let's show you what's going on around the network. And what came out last night was another episode of Building the Franchise Jacksonville Jaguars, hosted by Unisolated. Kyle, the Building the Franchise series is really taking off here on the NBL Network. We have BTF, Detroit Lions, hosted by Bomber, a look at a team that is in the playoff hunt, looking to defend their Season 25 Super Bowl title. And then you got another option over here with the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team probably going to be in the top of that draft order, more built around building this team to hopefully have success in future seasons, because it's been rough down in Jacksonville.
Yeah, you got the best of both worlds. You got a team ready to contend for a championship, and also a team that's probably a few seasons out at best. And so you got a little bit of in between there, and get to watch a team build from the ground up and a team contend.
Yeah, so again, check that out. It's on the network. It's over under the Building the Franchise playlist. Check it out. It really is a great series. Unisolated doing a great job with that BTF Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, Kyle, let's look at some players to watch in today's game between the Giants and the Redskins. And, of course, when you think the New York Giants, you think Odell Beckham Jr. He's leading the NBL in receiving yards, almost at 1,000 already, 950 receiving yards, averaging 22.1 per catch, 9 touchdowns. And then look at that number there, 340 yak yards. He's so good once the ball gets in his hands of making people miss and really doing something special with the ball. So, Kyle, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Is Odell Beckham Jr. the best wide receiver in the NBL?
He is the best wide receiver in the NFC, the most dynamic player probably in the NFC, but I'm going to have to give the title of the best overall wide receiver in the NBL to Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh.
Wow, Antonio Brown. I mean, Odell's having a great season. It would be interesting if we had a matchup between the Steelers and the Giants in the Super Bowl, looking at those two go head-to-head. On the opposite side, maybe someone that sort of gets lost in the mix in Washington. Jordan Reed, tight end. He's having a nice season, 468 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. And this is a guy who seems to get lost in the mix a little bit here, Kyle. There are some prominent tight ends in the league, but you always hear names like Rob Gronkowski, Greg Olsen, guys like that. Why does Jordan Reed not get the attention he deserves? Because he really is a main target on this Washington Redskins team.
If you ask me, Jordan Reed doesn't get the attention he deserves because of who's throwing on the ball. Kirk Cousins is demanding a big contract, but he hasn't shown to me that he deserves it. Little under the radar, but he is, in fact, leading the Washington Redskins in receptions. He may not show up the flashy numbers like your Rob Gronkowski or your Jimmy Graham, but he's going to be up there soon, believe me.
And you're going to get an opportunity to see Jordan Reed today as the Washington Redskins looking to pull off a little bit of the upset. The New York Giants, I mean, before we get your prediction, Kyle, how good is this Giants team? They're at 8-2. They've been sort of at the top of the NFC really the entire season. I don't think anybody really saw this coming. Is this Giants team a legit Super Bowl contender?
I would be shocked if they weren't in the championship game for the NFC at the end of the year. They could very well be undefeated at this point. Their only two losses came by a combined 4 points, one to the Detroit Lions and one to another good team in the Seattle Seahawks.
Now let's take a look at that injury report from our friends over at the NBL Bleacher Report. And if you don't follow them on Twitter, go over and follow them. I believe it's at NBL_Bleacher. They do a great job doing these injury reports for us. Giants dealing with some injuries. Paul Perkins out, Brandon Marshall out. Sterling Shepard, we're getting word that he might actually be able to play today. On the Redskins side, the only injury being their linebacker Ryan Anderson, who's out for the season with that pectoral tear. Let me ask you this, Kyle. If Sterling Shepard goes today, on the opposite side of OBJ, how important is that to give them a second target behind the number one receiver in the NBL?
I think it's very important. He doesn't provide the dynamic, playmaking, game-breaking ability and speed as Odell Beckham, but he's a very solid possession receiver, and he does have deceptively fast speed.
All right, well, we're about ready to send it out to the game, but we got to get your prediction here, Kyle. Who do you like in this game? Are the New York Giants going to get another division win and continue on this magical run that I don't think anybody really saw coming, moving to 9-2, or are the Washington Redskins going to get to 5-6, stay alive in that NFC East, and get a big confidence boost by beating the top team in their division?
I know I just said I'd be surprised if the New York Giants weren't in the NFC Championship game at the end of the year, but this is a division game. You can never take anything for granted in a game like this, and the Redskins are not out of it yet. They do have a very good team. I expect it to be very close, but in the end, I think New York will get the win.
Yeah, because the one thing that nobody's talking about in this game, and something we're going to be watching throughout this Madden 18 cycle, does the Porter curse continue? We know he had some wins in our EA Access tournament, but a lot of people out there saying, oh, those don't count because it's not NBL Live game. Well, he's got an opportunity tonight to prove people wrong and show that the Washington Redskins and teams owned by Porter can win on NBL Live. Folks, it's time to send it out to the game. We appreciate everybody joining us for the pregame show, but it's football time here on NBL Live. Coming up next, it is a Week 12 divisional matchup between the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. A battle of two division foes, and it comes up right now here on NBL Live.
My name is Rex Dixon.
Jake Stein.
Clint from EA Sports.
You're watching NBL.
You're watching the NBL Network. And you're watching the MBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's going to be dropping back to pass here on fourth down. He's looking deep over the middle. He has a man. It's Brandon Cooks. Who catches it, makes a man miss.
Oh, that's
Woodard is dropping back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker ability as he finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown. And what a game we have for you today, folks. It's an NFC East Divisional Week 12 matchup between the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Kyle the Flat Killer, Matt Miller. Now, Kyle, Washington's going to start off with the ball here. I want you to assess Washington's playoff hopes right now because they're sitting there at 4-6. The second wild card right now is at 6-4. That's the Dallas Cowboys. There are a lot of teams, though, sitting there that 5-5, 4-6 range. A win here, what does that do for Washington's playoff chances?
It greatly improves them, not only their record, but their confidence. A loss here, on the other hand, though, could pretty much rule them out as a playoff contender.
Yeah, that would drop them down to 4-7, not where you want to be. And they're going to get a chance to start off with the ball, I formation. And they're going to be passing here on first down to toss underneath to Terrell Pryor. Pryor makes one man miss. He's able to get the first down. Kirk Cousins starting off strong. And Kyle, we know that was one of the emphasis points in practice, getting Kirk Cousins in some sort of rhythm early against this New York Giants team who we know the offense is going to come out firing.
Yeah, they paid a lot of money to bring Terrell Pryor in, and so far this year, him and Kirk Cousins haven't really been in key, but that's a very good sign to start this game off with a completion.
Kirk Cousins comes out under center. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the right, 1 to the left. It's going to be handoff to Samaje Perine right over the right side. He's only going to get a yard on the play. Perine, one of the very talented young running backs in the league. Kyle, we've seen a lot from Perine. We know this New York Giants team loves to blitz early. What is Washington going to have to do to get this run game going?
They're going to have to open up the playbook and start, I would go pass first, run second. Open up that power run game with the rookie by taking some shots downfield.
Shotgun formation for Kirk Cousins. He comes out with 3 wide receivers now over to the left side, 1 over to the right. Perine in the backfield. Pryor coming in motion on 2nd and 9. His Cousins dropping back to pass. Blitz coming. He tosses it underneath once again to Terrell Pryor. Gets near the first down marker to the 47. They're going to call him just short. Going to bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Washington Redskins. Terrell Pryor getting involved early in the game. And now Washington comes out, and it's going to be Kirk Cousins in the shotgun once again. 4 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 2 over to the right. Perine in the backfield, 3rd and 1. Cousins passing, he gets it off quickly. It's complete to Crowder on the left side, and it's a first down for the Washington Redskins, who early in this game, the pass game has been rolling as Jamison Crowder comes up with the catch. And Kyle, that was a nice job of Kirk Cousins recognizing the blitz coming and able to get that ball out of his hands quickly. We've actually lost my co-host. He's gone. He's abandoned me. It's just going to be the OSU show at the moment. As Sprinkle going in motion. It's a little counter play for Samaje Perine trying to get on around the outside. He can't get there. It's only a gain of 5 on the play, though, and a nice job by Perine getting the run game going, especially outside the tackles. It's been one of the weaknesses of this New York Giants defense, who has played so well. It has been a weakness of theirs trying to seal that edge and make sure that runners don't get to the outside. They're so good up the middle. They run so many blitzes coming right into the face of the quarterback and the running back. But once you get outside, because so many blitzes come up the middle, it ends up being a weakness if they try to run it to the outside. And as you see right there, that's one of the blitzes right up the middle, and Goodson's able to get to Kirk Cousins. They brought the man blitz and brought down Cousins for a 7-yard loss. And now that's going to bring up a 3rd and 12 for the Washington Redskins, who are looking to keep this momentum. This New York Giants team, as we mentioned, sitting there at 8-2. They are the top of the NFC East and one of the best teams really in the entire NBL. And they're going to want to keep this momentum if they're going to be one of the best teams in the NBL. As they run a little draw play for Thompson, and he's going to get maybe 2 yards up to the 42. And unfortunately for the Washington Redskins, one of those drives that looked like it had a lot of promise. Cousins getting something going early, but again, sacks. And it's why Sonny Weaver always brings up the Sonny Weaver splash play. If you haven't watched NBL before, well, first of all, you're welcome for not hearing all the Sonny Weaver splash play references that we've ever had, but those are plays that really change the momentum of the game. Sacks, interceptions, fumbles, any sort of turnover, safeties. And you saw on that drive as the sack really halted that drive for the Washington Redskins, who had something going. And now they're going to be forced to stop this New York Giants offense. And this Giants offense, number 3 in the NBL, number 4 through the air. On the ground, middle of the pack, maybe below middle of the pack at 19th. And as it stands, they're going to come out 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. And it's going to be a run on first down. And a nice one over the left side. Gallman Jr. getting 8 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 2 for the New York Giants. New York Giants looking to stay atop the NFC East, and from what we've heard from owner Bananas, this is a Giants team that's really looking at Super Bowl title. They don't want any division titles. I mean, of course they want that, but that's not their end goal. Their end goal is to get to the chip and get, welcome to the network, baby, a title, a trophy on the trophy case. Big shout out to the Killer Vlogger XX for the sub as that pass deep down the field. Could not hook up. David Webb not able to find the receiver as he took a big hit as he caught that ball. Going to bring up a 3rd and 2. But as we said, the New York Giants are looking for that trophy. They want to put that trophy in their trophy case, and they don't have an easy task in the NFC. Let's set aside the NFC East, which is very competitive. But you've, of course, got the Detroit Lions. You've got the Carolina Panthers playing very well this year. You've got the Dallas Cowboys just having a sneaky good season sitting there at 6-4. So we'll see where the Giants end up this year, as it's going to end up being a 3rd and 2 now for the Giants. Webb in the shotgun. He's going to take the ball, looking to pass, and he's going to go down. It's a sack for the Washington Redskins. Io and Adonis able to get in the backfield, and sacks on both opening drives by the defense, able to really stall drives that maybe the Washington Redskins drive definitely had promise. This Giants drive didn't quite get going, and Washington's able to force a 3-and-out. Marshall's going to take this punt back just shy of the 20-yard line. He's up to the 25, shakes off a tackler. He's at about the 35-yard line, and that's where Washington's going to come out. Kirk Cousins and the offense looking to have more of that momentum, and their big weapon on the first drive was Terrell Pryor underneath. The New York Giants really trust their cornerbacks. They run a lot of man blitz. They bring the pressure and leave their cornerbacks on island. And early in the drive, Kirk Cousins was able to find Terrell Pryor underneath. We'll see if he continues finding Terrell Pryor. Maybe finds one of his other weapons. Of course, Jordan Reed, as we talked about in the pregame. Josh Doxson. It's on 1st and 10. It's going to be Terrell Pryor who makes one man miss. He's got a first down up to the 42-yard line. 4 for 4 for Kirk Cousins. 3 of them to Terrell Pryor, as he was manned up on the outside and able to run that little out route and make the first man miss and get into enemy territory at the 42-yard line. And again, folks, if we hadn't told you the standings before this game, the Washington Redskins coming out looking like the better team. They're looking like the team who's fighting for the Super Bowl title, as opposed to the New York Giants. But we all know how much it can change as we go through the game. As Thompson gets the carry on first down, it goes nowhere. We're going to bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Washington Redskins. This New York Giants defense, you'd think you would be hard to overshadow the offense, number 3 in the NBL, but the defense is number 2 in the NBL. In terms of scoring defense, they force a lot of turnovers. The rushing defense, very good. Pass defense, a little suspect, as Crowder, unable to come with that ball, took a big hit over the middle. Going to bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Redskins. But this is a team that prides itself on its rushing defense, as we talked about. The New York Giants run a lot of man blitzes, so it stops a lot of the run plays, but it does leave their cornerbacks on island, so if there's any sort of athleticism on the outside or at tight end, they can get beat on the pass, but they really rely on getting to the quarterback for stops, and we saw that on the first drive. As we saw Kirk Cousins take a sack on the first drive. That really stopped all momentum. Now he's got to convert a 3rd and 10. Once again from the 42-yard line. It's Cousins dropping back to pass. He's looking over the middle, and he finds Josh Doxson to the 27-yard line. It's a first down for the Washington Redskins. Nice job by Kirk Cousins recognizing the zone pressure coming. And he really threw that to Doxson early. As you can look on the diagram on the left side, the red route was Doxson running that little C route. He threw it early as he was still running up the field, and if he had waited till he got to the outside, it would have been covered, but instead, Kirk Cousins doing a nice job of finding Josh Doxson, throwing it on time. Make sure they got the first down. Now a 1st and 10 for the Washington Redskins. Big set comes out. 3 tight ends, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Terrell Pryor, the lone wide receiver on the right side. 1st and 10, Cousins actually going to be passing it. Tosses it underneath to Davis. It's complete. He's got a first down and more inside the red zone, down inside the 10-yard line. To the 9, it's a first down for the Washington Redskins as they are knocking on the door. And Vernon Davis, he may be 107 years old, but he still finds a way to make an impact on the offensive side of the ball. Is on 1st and goal. It's going to be a handoff to Samaje Perine, who fights forward to the 5-yard line. We do have an injured player down. We'll let you know what that injury is once we find out, as Olivier Vernon able to come up with a tackle. But nice job by Perine using that muscle to sort of fight through the tackle and get 4 yards out of that. Going to bring up a 2nd goal from the 5-yard line as we're nearing the end of the first quarter. It's going to be Kirk Cousins coming out with 5 wide receivers, 3 over to the right, 2 to the left. Samaje Perine coming in motion here on 2nd and goal, setting up on the right side. Looks like they're trying to find him on a screen. And if Kirk Cousins took any sort of look around, he would have noticed that one was well covered. He did have the slant route running open in the end zone, but instead he stuck with the screen and ends up getting blown up for an incomplete pass. Going to bring up a 3rd and goal. The Washington Redskins looking for a big touchdown here. A little momentum here at home, get into the end zone. But the biggest thing for the Washington Redskins is to not turn the ball over here. This Giants offense is so good at pushing the ball downfield and quickly. Getting any points is important to stay in this game. As on 3rd and goal, 3 tight ends over to the right side. Terrell Pryor alone on the left. Paul coming in motion from the right side over to the left. Perine in the backfield. 3rd and goal. It's going to be Cousins dropping back to pass. He is looking. He's got all the time in the world. And the ball comes out. And and it's recovered by the New York Giants. Wow, Washington looked like they had a couple opportunities to recover it, and the offensive lineman just didn't get on the ground to get that fumble, and Olivier Vernon says thank you very much. And just as we talked about, the Washington Redskins, the last thing they wanted to do was turn the ball over. What happens? That New York Giants pressure finally gets there. Only a 4-man rush, real coverage sack. They strip Kirk Cousins and get the first turnover of the game. Now Webb comes out in the shotgun. He's dropping back to pass here on 1st and 10. Looks over the middle of the field. He completes it to Odell Beckham Jr. His first catch of the day. It goes to the 36-yard line. And we're getting word from the sidelines that it was Vernon Davis down on the play. And x-rays were positive for a broken rib. So he's going to be out for the rest of the game. Probably a couple weeks. That's a big loss for the Washington Redskins. Not just because of his production. I know he's getting up there in age, but he's still a very productive tight end. But more than that, he's a leader on the offensive side of the ball. It's on 1st and 10. It's going to be a toss play over to the right. Oh, and what a move! And he's got a lot of room down to the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Gallman Jr., what a juke move on the outside on the quick toss. Able to make a man miss, and the entire Washington Redskins defense over pursues. And that's how you get big runs first. Gallman gets all the way down to the 28-yard line. And you can feel the New York Giants playing with a little bit of confidence right now. As they're now on the 28-yard line after the big turnover inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line. Now it's going to be Webb. Play action pass. He's looking deep. He's got a man in the back of the end zone. And what a catch by Odell Beckham Jr. It's a touchdown for the New York Giants. This one goes to review, and it is upheld. Odell doing Odell things. What a play by OBJ in the back of the end zone. And while the New York Giants love running that man blitz, you got to think if you're the Washington Redskins, you're going to be concerned leaving anyone one-on-one with Odell Beckham Jr. as he just makes him look silly as the extra point is off the right goalpost and no good. And we'll see if that mistake comes back to bite the New York Giants. They're up 6-0 in this game after a beautiful catch by Odell Beckham Jr. in the back of the end zone. This one's going to go out of the back of the end zone. Washington's going to get on the 25-yard line. And so far, the Redskins' offense has looked very good, but it's just been two major mistakes by Kirk Cousins. One, taking a sack on the first drive, and two, he had about 7 seconds in the pocket, and he ended up waiting too long and eventually got stripped. Olivier Vernon recovers the fumble, and as you can see, that was right at the end of the first quarter and how quickly New York can get down the field and score. That's how they have this 6-0 lead. 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff to P. Ryan. Going over the left side. He trucked what appeared to be Casper the Friendly Ghost, but he'll get 2 yards on the play. Bring up a 2nd and 8. The Washington Redskins looking to stay in this game. The New York Giants offense is so good, as you can see. The number 3 offense in the NBL. I think we actually might have Kyle back. Hold on. Hey, buddy. How you doing? You back with us? Maybe. All right, maybe not. As Kirk Cousins driving back to pass, looks over the middle, trying to find Jordan Reed on the left side. He cannot come up with the catch. That was a tough throw into double coverage, completely blanketed. Jordan Reed has yet to have a catch in this game. Going to bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Washington Redskins. 6-0 New York on top. Ball on the 27-yard line, though. Washington needing a big 3rd down conversion. They got a couple on the last drive. You're going to need to keep that magic going. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. Pryor comes in motion. Kirk Cousins dropping back to pass here on 3rd and 8. He looks over the middle of the field. That's intercepted by the New York Giants. Goodson able to step in front of that pass and add insult to injury. It looks like Jordan Reed down on the play, but what a job by the New York Giants, forcing another turnover. And this is, folks, these are the games. You're never out of it here in the NBL. There's lots of time on the clock. Of course, 4:30 to go, and it's only the first half. But this is one of those moments where we could see a turning point in the game. And we could see this game get out of hand if Washington now 2 turnovers. New York a short field to work with. They're down to the 31-yard line. 2nd and 1 after that 9-yard play by Wayne Gallman Jr. Gallman, rookie out of Clemson, a 4th-round pick, and he's proving dividends for the New York Giants. 6-0 New York on top, and with the ball as they're nearing the red zone, ball on the 31-yard line. It's going to be Webb comes out, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Shepard is in the game. He's out to the left. Odell Beckham on the right. Shepard coming in motion from left to right. It's a play action pass. Webb looking deep down the middle of the field, almost intercepted. It just falls to the ground, incomplete. And, it was not Jordan Reed down on the play. It was Terrell Pryor, who had been so good early in this game. And we're finding out that he has a broken collarbone. Really, their number 1 wide receiver all year is done for a while. That broken collarbone's tough to come back from, especially as a wide receiver. And that's going to be interesting to see as we get down to playoff time. Do we have Kyle back? Kyle, you there, big dog? Nope, he is not. 3rd and 1 now for the New York Giants. As Washington, just the bad news keeps coming. Terrell Pryor down with a broken collarbone, and that's going to be brutal for this Washington Redskins team, who really not only needs a win here, but needs to show a couple wins down the season. They're sitting there at 4-6. First wild card spot, the second wild card spot is at 6-4. They need a couple wins, and doing it without their number 1 wide receiver, that's going to be tough. As again, if you just missed it, Terrell Pryor out with a broken collarbone. He just suffered on the interception. So now 3rd and 1 for the New York Giants. 3 wide receivers out there, 2 over to the left. 1 tight end on the right side of that formation. Gallman in the game, and Shepard split out to the right. Gallman in the game at running back. Play clock down to 5 seconds. Webb takes the snap, steps up in the pocket. He's looking deep down the middle of the field, and it is complete to Odell Beckham Jr. Once again, it's a touchdown for the New York Giants as Beckham catches his 2nd touchdown of the day. We'll see if New York is able to convert this extra point, as the first one rang off the right goalpost. This is up and good, and New York extends their lead to 13-0. New York on top. 4 minutes to go in the game. The kick is away, and the Washington Redskins are going to take this out of the end zone. Marshall takes it to the 10, up to the 15, to the 20, trying to fight for that 25-yard line. And it is, he will get there. So it ends up being net 0 for taking that out of the end zone. 13-0. New York on top. 3:57 to go here in the second quarter as we work towards halftime. It's going to be Kirk Cousins comes out in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the right, 1 to the left. Reed going in motion. It's a play action pass. Kirk Cousins looking, and he's going to just toss this to Jordan Reed. Alone on the left side. He's going to get 3 yards on the play up to the 28-yard line. Going to bring up a 2nd and 7. Kirk Cousins having a decent day, but it's been 2 major mistakes by Cousins. A fumble on the second drive that gave New York great field position. They turned that into it gave New York a turnover inside the red zone. They drove it down the field in under a minute. And then just on that last drive, an interception in their own territory, and New York quickly turned that into points. Odell Beckham, 2 touchdowns in the game. He is so good here in the NBL. As a quick pass here from Kirk Cousins is Jordan Reed, who spins nobody. He's up to the 40. He's up to the 35, to the 33-yard line. Jordan Reed with his first catch of the day. And do we have... I'm getting word that Kyle's here.
You gotta love it when your computer decides to put you in timeout for a whole quarter, OSU.
Nice job. Well, maybe be nicer to your computer.
It was the first time for everything, and it's just perfect right there.
2 tight ends out there for Kirk Cousins. It's going to be a handoff to P. Ryan over the left side. Nothing doing there. He's going to get no gain on the play. And Kyle, you're seeing in this game, at least you might have been seeing, I don't know, your computer was off. The New York Giants' rush defense has been so strong because they bring so many blitzes. Even on the plays where they're not bringing blitzes. That last one was just a 4-man rush. They're able to bottle up P. Ryan for no gain.
Yeah, that New York Giants defense is known for bringing a lot of heat, a lot of pressure on early downs, then sitting back in coverage and hoping for those turnovers on the 3rd down long.
2nd and 10 for the Washington Redskins. Cousins drawing back to pass. He can toss it to the flat to P. Ryan. He's only going to get a couple on the play up to the 30-yard line, give him 3 yards. Cousins 9 of 13, 131 yards and an interception. He's been pretty good most of the game, but his 2 mistakes, the fumble and the interception, it has killed the Washington Redskins. They're down 13-0. Kyle, how important is it for the Washington Redskins to get a touchdown on this drive and stay in this game?
Right now, it's important for them to get any points on the board, especially a touchdown. Jordan Reed has proven himself over his career to be a red zone threat, and I hope they go to him in this situation.
Well, and in this situation, Kirk Cousins takes another crucial sack on third down. This time it was JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul. He may only have 4 fingers or 3 fingers on his left hand, but he's able to still sack the quarterback effectively as he takes down Kirk Cousins, now 4th and 16 from the 39-yard line. And the Washington Redskins are going to be forced to kick a field goal. Stiff wind coming from right to left as we hit the 2-minute warning. Yeah, how daunting is this defensive line, Kyle? Jason Pierre-Paul and Olivier Vernon coming at you from both ends.
Olivier Vernon might be one of the best defensive ends in the league, and Jason Pierre-Paul is a small shell of himself from what he was before, but he's still an upper echelon defender.
4th and 16 for the Washington Redskins. Ball on the 39-yard line. They're attempting a 56-yard field goal into the stiff right to left wind. Ball is down. The kick is up. Does it have enough leg? It does. It is good. And Washington's able to salvage some points from that drive. They cut it to a 13-3 lead. But this is where it gets dangerous, Kyle. New York's getting the ball back. They're up 10, and they have all 3 timeouts with about 1:56 to go.
Down 10 points early in the game, I wouldn't panic yet if I'm Washington. Hold the defense to a punting situation. Try to put at least another field goal on before half is an ideal situation.
1:56 to go. And the kick is away. And this one is deep into the back of the end zone. And New York's going to take this out on the 25-yard line. Again, they have all 3 timeouts. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning into MBL Live. Broadcast number 127. This is Week 12 action between the Giants and the Redskins. I'm OSU. I'm joined by the former timeout-laden Kyle the Flat Killer Matt Miller. As now the New York Giants come out under center. Webb on 1st and 10. He's going to hand it off to Gallman, who shakes off one tackle but can't shake off the second. He's going to go down at the 22-yard line. A loss of a couple on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 13.
Yeah, exactly what Washington wanted right there. Hold them to a loss in the first down. Hopefully get a punt coming up here.
1:40 and counting. We'll see what the New York Giants decide to do, if they try to press the ball downfield or if they just keep it on the ground and try to go into half with a 10-point lead on the road. Webb in the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to each side. Webb dropping back to pass here on 2nd and 13. He looks over to the right side and dumps it off underneath. It is complete, and it's an 11-yard gain as New York's going to cut this to a 3rd and 2. And all of a sudden, New York, after they didn't have a whole lot of success on 1st down, they get a nice play on 2nd down. It opens up the playbook here with 1:27 to go.
And we very well could look back on this play right here if it's a stop or a conversion on the outcome of this game.
3rd and 2 for the New York Giants. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Webb's taking the ball. He's going to try to pass it here on 3rd down. Oh, and here, opportunity at the sack. Absolutely whiffed on it. And Webb just scrambles right up the middle. And those are those plays that may not show up on the score sheet, Kyle, but it was a beautiful rush on the outside, able to beat the left tackle, and then he just straight up whiffs on the sack attempt, and Webb's able to stay on his feet and get a 1st down using his legs. They're up to the 40-yard line. 4 wide receivers out there as they're trying to set up a wide receiver screen over to the right side. It is complete, and he's got room down the sidelines. He's all the way up to the 30, just out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Sterling Shepard taking that one. Looked like he might be out for the game. He was battling that injury, and he was able to catch that wide receiver screen and, most importantly, get out of bounds, a 32-yard gain as New York's knocking on the door once again.
An absolute heartbreaker for the conversion of 3rd and short by a non-mobile quarterback to pick up the 1st down on the ground. Just a heartbreaker.
Webb in the shotgun once again. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right, 1 over to the left. Gallman in the backfield. Watch out for Odell Beckham. He's always got 2 touchdowns in this game. Webb's looking over the middle of the field. It is complete, and it's another 1st down to the 8-yard line. And once again, the Washington Redskins looked like they had a linebacker in the throwing lane, but Ingram able to see the ball through the defense and get the catch at the 8-yard line. Now New York has a 1st and goal from the 8, looking to extend this even further. They're already up 10, 13-3. Shotgun formation for Webb. He's got 2 wide receivers over to the right, 2 over to the left. Webb dropping back to pass here on 1st and goal. And down goes Webb. Finally, Washington able to come up with a sack as they drop him at the 15-yard line. That's a loss of 7 on the play, bringing up a 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Davis Webb had time there. I think he actually ran into the defender. He had a good pocket, could have waited a little longer for a guy to get open, but instead he walks into a defender and gets sacked.
Second and goal now for the New York Giants, looking to make sure that they get some points out of this drive and go into half with the lead mostly intact. They're up 10, and they're going to get the ball to start the second half. Second and goal. Webb drops back to pass in the shotgun. Steps up into the pocket. He takes his second sack in a row. This time it's Ryan Kerrigan coming around the right side, bringing down David Webb at the 21-yard line. Another loss of 6. And now, Kyle, this is a situation you don't want to be in. Third and goal from the 21-yard line.
If I'm New York, I'm running the ball and taking a 16-3 lead in the halftime. There's no reason they need to put a risk of a turnover on this play.
We'll see if the young rookie Davis Webb can get into the end zone. The rookie out of Cal, third-round pick. He comes out, 3 wide receivers over to the left. Now Odell Beckham going in motion from the left, split out alone to the right side. On third and goal to play action pass. Webb rolling out to the right. Another missed sack. Is this thrown into the end zone? It's picked off by Sula Cravens, and he's going to return this out to the 15-yard line, trying to fight through tacklers. And as we said, it seems like every time I say something, exactly what you don't want to happen if you're a fan of the New York Giants happens. As we said, New York doesn't want to turn it over in the red zone. Davis Webb trying to make something happen. He throws a pick, and Washington, a huge break inside the red zone.
The rookie's showing his inexperience on that, though. There was no one open. He should have took the sack or threw the ball away and got a field goal out of that.
Kirk Cousins looks like he wants to push this downfield as he's going to find Josh Doxson on the right side of the 31-yard line. 2 seconds ago, Washington's going to take a timeout, baby. Big shout out to Mr. Chunky, our very own Mr. Chunky. He just subscribed, and I'm going to question why he wasn't subscribed already, but we'll let that go for the moment. Thanks for the sub. Again, folks, if you subscribe, make sure you have those notifications on so you know each and every time we are live with one of our NBL live games or any one of the fine programs we have here on the network. First and 10, Cousins dropping back to pass. He's just going to take a sack, and we're going to go to halftime, 13-3. New York on top. Kirk Cousins taking 4 sacks already in this game. And they're going to kick the ball off to the New York Giants.
Welcome to the network, baby.
Shout out to Damien who just subscribed. Kyle, Kirk Cousins taking 4 sacks. How much of that is on the offensive line? How much is that on Kirk Cousins not recognizing where the pressure is?
I'm actually going to blame a little bit of that on the play calling. They're seeming to be one-dimensional as far as running on early downs and passing on later downs. They need to mix it up a little bit and pass more on early downs and run on the short situations.
And now a first and 10 for the New York Giants after the interception by Davis Webb. They had a first and goal on the 8-yard line, took 2 sacks and then a pick. So about as bad of a stand inside the goal line if you're a New York Giants fan. The young Davis Webb showing his inexperience. His opportunity to make up for that as he comes out. 2 wide receivers split out to the left side. Gallman in the backfield, 2 tight ends, 1 on each side of the formation. First and 10 for the New York Giants. It's a handoff to Gallman. And look who got in the backfield, was able to bring down Gallman. Big Vince Wilfork, still somehow in the league. The big dog eating on the inside of that defensive line. He drops it for a 4-yard loss.
The older player still can clog the run lanes and make the tackle in the backfield. What a play.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers once again for Davis Webb and the New York Giants. Both wide receivers split out to the left side. It's on 2nd and 14. It's a play action pass. Webb looking downfield. The rush gets there, and down goes Webb. Man, oh man, where is this Washington Redskins defense, the number 25 defense in the NBL? Kyle, I'm going to point this out. I don't know if you've been counting, but in the last 5 plays, 4 have gone backwards for the New York Giants. 1 was an interception. This Washington defense standing strong.
I have been watching, and this defense is playing out of their minds right now. Hopefully they can continue that and get some momentum to this offense to put some points on the board.
Don't want to take a sack here. You're in the shadow of your own end zone. 3rd and 22 from the 6-yard line. They're just going to hand this ball off up the middle, and Washington's going to get a stop at the 10-yard line. Vereen going to get 5 yards on the play. Now a 4th and 17. New York's going to be forced to punt. Kyle, if you're the defense, what are you saying to Kirk Cousins and the offense as you come off the field? They got an interception on the last drive. They got a huge stop for the Giants here. It's on the offense now to make something happen.
I'm saying we're doing our part. It's time to pick up the slack and put some points on the board. We need at least a field goal out of this drive right here.
Yeah, nice return there by Marshall as he gets into enemy territory to the 43-yard line. While we have a moment here in the 3rd quarter, folks, we want to give a big shout-out to our graphic sponsor, Web3KS.com. They do that overlay you see here on NBL Live, a ton of other graphics for all of our network shows. My favorite part is they're super affordable, so if you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, head over to web3ks.com. They are the leaders in affordable graphic design. Big shout out to all business over at web3ks.com. First and 10 for the Washington Redskins. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Kirk Cousins and the Redskins as Crowder comes a little closer to the formation. First and 10. Cousins switching up the play left and right. Crowder coming in motion from the right over to the left side, and on first down, it's a play-action pass, but Cousins cannot get the ball off. It's another sack taken by Kirk Cousins. And Kyle, you mentioned the play calling. You know the New York Giants love bringing man blitzes on first down. They bring 6, 7 guys, and you run a slow play-action pass. What is the coaching staff thinking?
The scouting report for this New York Giants defense has not changed all year. They bring pressure on early downs. Calling the play action right behind the center is not a good play call at all.
Cousins dropping back on 2nd and 17. He's going to toss this underneath to P. Ryan, who once again trucks the ghost on the field. He's able to get up to the 39-yard line. Got a little case of the trucksies here in Washington. But a nice gain there after the sack on first down. Cuts it down to a 3rd and 7.
If you're Washington, you cannot take a loss of yards right now. 56-57 is about the max for their kickers. And I'm hoping they can get at least a yard or 2 out of here to get in field goal range.
Yeah, from the 39-yard line, you're looking at a 56-yard field goal. Now 3rd and 7. Thompson into the game at running back. 2 wide receivers, 1 to each side. 2 tight ends on the right side of that formation. 3rd and 7 for the Washington Redskins. Looking to stay in this game as Crowder's going to go over to the left side, putting both wide receivers over there on the left. 3rd and 7. It's going to be Cousins dropping back to pass. Blitz coming. It's picked up nicely, and he finds Jordan Reed over the middle, makes a big catch, takes a huge hit, but gets the first down at the 21-yard line. And so far tonight, after the loss of Terrell Pryor to a broken collarbone early in the game, Kyle, just as we said in the pregame, Jordan Reed has turned into a huge target for the Washington Redskins passing attack.
A big catch by Jordan Reed, an even bigger throw by Kirk Cousins, putting the ball up top where the defender underneath couldn't pick it off.
Play action pass. He's looking for Sprinkle over on the right side and needed a little sprinkle of magic if he's going to come up with that one. A nice defensive play made on the big tight end. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Washington Redskins, looking to cut into this New York Giants lead. We appreciate everybody tuning in here to NBL Live broadcast number 127. I'm Oshie. I'm hanging out with my man Kyle, the Flat Killer, Matt Miller. Again, stick with us to the end of the game. That's where we'll have our selection for the NBL Live Player of the Game here for broadcast number 127. A lot of people out there who have suggestions. Again, put your suggestions in the chat. See what you guys think. As this toss over to the left side, trying to find Josh Doxson. Doxson takes a big hit and can't hold on to that ball. Kyle, on that play with Doxson, is that one that Doxson has to come up with, or is that just a throw that doesn't need to be made?
If you have the ball in your hands and you don't land on your back, but come up with an incompletion, that's on the receiver right there.
Yeah, he did sort of have that one in the breadbasket, landed on his feet and just didn't have the ball in his hands. You got to hold on to that if you're going to be a top-tier wide receiver here in the NBL. Shotgun formation for the Washington Redskins. Doxson alone to the left, 3 over to the right. Cousins dropping back to pass here on 3rd and 10. He's looking deep to the end zone. And another dangerous throw by Kirk Cousins, and Washington's going to have to attempt the field goal and cut this to a 1-score lead. This is going to be a 38-yard attempt. Stiff breeze coming from left to right. 13-3, New York on top. As the almost blocked, the kick is up, and they miss the field goal, and the mistakes just keep coming. And Kyle, if you weren't a believer in the Porter curse, you might have to be one now. This Washington Redskins team just not playing up to their standards.
Oh, I was a believer before this game, but 4 games in a row and a losing streak before live, it's looking like that field goal is going to turn into 5.
Wow, a big miss. You knew the wind was coming. Almost got blocked. Was able to get the kickoff, but misses it nonetheless on 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff to Gallman over the right side. Gallman gets up to the 35-yard line. Nice run there by the New York Giants. Their rushing attack, not one of the best. Again, as we mentioned, you can see on the right side of your screen, 19th in the NBL. But Gallman has shown a lot in this game. And Kyle, I think that this guy could become one of the better running backs here in the NBL if he just gets a little more opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm going to admit, I knew absolutely nothing about the New York Giants running back before the year started, and I'm even more surprised they went with the rookie quarterback over the proven veteran with Eli Manning, but they're proving all the doubters wrong with that combo.
2nd and 3, it's a handoff to Gallman once again, and a nice job there on the interior, bringing him down at the 36-yard line, only going to get a yard on the play. Now another big 3rd and 2, and Kyle, as we said, as they came off the drive off the last drive by the New York Giants, the Washington Redskins defense is playing very well against one of the top offenses in the NBL.
Yeah, and their shoulders must be getting very heavy right now because they are carrying this team to a respectable score at the moment. And if it was not for their defense, this game would be blown out right now.
3rd and 2 for the Giants. They're dropping back to pass here on 3rd down. Webb looking over to the right side, and Josh Norman able to come up with the play and break that one up. And New York's going to be forced to punt once again. No points on 3 straight drives for the Giants, and Josh Norman comes up big. Whenever Washington needs a big defensive play, Kyle, it seems like Josh Norman is there.
Yeah, you can't blame that incompletion on the quarterback. He put it where he had to put it. The receiver just didn't come down with it. But then again, he did throw it to one of the best cornerbacks in the NBL.
And Marshall goes out of bounds at the 14-yard line. That's a mistake. He had a lot of open field to the left. Tried to make a fancy move on the gunner and steps out of bounds. And now the Washington Redskins offense, they've done a great job. This is sort of the weird part of this game, Kyle. The Redskins have done a great job between their own end zone and about the 40-yard line. It seems like once they get inside the 40 and they have an opportunity to get a touchdown, the play calling just goes out the window and this team just stalls.
Yeah, it seems like they really like that passing in the red zone. When they get down there running the ball and passing, they go one-dimensional. I don't understand what's going on when they get to the red zone.
Well, let's see if they can get something out of the Wildcat, as it's going to be, it looks like Piron keeping the ball. Excuse me, that was Thompson in keeping the ball, and I don't think he's going to want to keep the ball anymore after that run. It's a loss of 1, took a big hit in the backfield. Going to bring up a 2nd and 11.
Yeah, they even faked you out on that one, OSU.
Yeah, well, I was just faked out by the giant hit he took. I thought it looked like a better chance to hand off that ball. He kept it himself, and he's going to be regretting that one tomorrow morning when he has an old ice pack on his shoulders. As the blitz comes, he gets it off quickly and throws it to the other team. It's picked off by the Giants. What a play by Goodson, his 2nd pick of the day, making his case for the NBL Live Player of the Game. And Kirk Cousins saw the blitz coming. It just turns out that his team's wearing those mustard jersey, and it turns out when you throw it to the white jerseys, that doesn't go well for your team. Cousins' 2nd interception on the day.
I don't know how you missed your best player, your tight end, Jordan Reed, wide open down the seam, straight down the middle of the field, and instead you throw it to a defender. I don't understand that at all.
Well, and just like that, Odell Beckham has his 3rd touchdown of the day. Webb over to Beckham. He's in the end zone for another Giants touchdown as they extend their lead to 19-3. Kyle, I think I can answer that question for you. That might be a big reason why this Washington Redskins team is about to go 4-7.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that. It's looking a lot like it's going to be 5 straight losses for the Washington Redskins. We had a lot of people picking them to win the division after their 3-1 start.
Yeah, that might be the underrated part coming into this game. Something that a lot of people weren't talking about is the recent stretch where the Washington Redskins have been unable to win games. Let's look at their last couple losses. And here's, I think, Kyle, the most interesting part about this is they had 2 what I would call good losses. The 6-4 Cowboys and the now 7-3 Seattle Seahawks. Those are good losses as Paul coming in motion from the left over to the right side on 1st and 10. Going to try to hand it off to Samaje Perine. He's going to go down for a loss once again. 6 carries, 11 yards for Perine. So they had 2 good losses there, coming off that 38-7 win over the Eagles. But then they go out and they lose by 14 to the 4-6 Vikings, and they lose by 10 to the 3-7 Saints. This Redskins team seemed to have a lot of confidence, but it seemed like after that Week 6 34-3 loss, that's right, 34-3 to the 2-8 San Francisco 49ers, it seems like after that game, Kyle, the Washington Redskins have lost some of their mojo.
Yeah, you really don't know what you're going to get on a week-to-week basis for this team right now. They have some dominant wins of teams they should win against, and they have some good losses over teams that are, probably not favored in the victory column. But those huge losses to the underachieving teams really hurt this team's morale.
Now a 3rd and 5 for the Washington Redskins. Blitz coming. Cousins gets it off and finds Quick, who can't hang on to the ball. It's an incomplete pass. And the Washington Redskins are going to be forced to punt to the New York Giants. And this one looking like a runaway as we head towards the 4th quarter. This comes into the New York Giants. They've scored 2 touchdowns on drives that were under 35 yards. They scored 1 from the 35-yard line, and they scored on 1 from the 6-yard line. This Washington Redskins defense, Kyle, has not played like the 25th defense in the NBL.
No, and imagine how good New York would be right now if it wasn't for the Washington defense holding strong that they have. So far, New York has proven why they are a top 5 team on offense and defense in the NBL.
Again, folks, get your suggestions in the chat for your choice for the NBL Live Player of the Game here for broadcast number 127. It's going to be a toss play over to the right side. Nice job by the defense getting the backfield, bring down Gallman for a loss at the 12-yard line. Going to bring up a 2nd and 14. Tout in the chat saying Skins not doing anything right now. And that's sort of been the case ever since the halftime. And again, it's the Washington Redskins offense that has really let the team down. This Washington Redskins defense has played phenomenally as we head towards the fourth quarter. 20-3 Giants on top. Kyle, did the New York Giants have any chance of losing this game, or is this one pretty much in the bag?
If you ask me, this one's a wrap. I have yet to see the Washington Redskins offense come out after half. It seems that they're not even on the field when they have the ball.
2nd and 14 now for the New York Giants. I formation. Gallman at the top of that I. 2 wide receivers. Ball on the 12-yard. As the New York Giants really haven't gained a whole lot in terms of yardage, but they've just forced some turnovers. We had some short drives. As a nice run there by Gallman over the left side. He gets to the 21-yard line. He's going to cut it down to a 3rd and 5 for the New York Giants. Just trying to get away without any injuries and milk this clock a little more. If you're the Washington Redskins, you got to think the Giants are going to be a very run-heavy team as we get down towards the end of this game.
Yeah, I'm looking for a lot of meat up front for the Washington Redskins. Try to stop that run and get the ball back and hopefully make an attempt to make this game competitive again.
3rd and 5, Webb dropping back to pass. He's going to take a sack, gets absolutely blown up. Ryan Kerrigan gets half of that sack, and the Redskins do get a stop. They're going to get the ball back. We'll see if their offense can do anything with that, but boy, that's the sort of hit that knocks quarterbacks out. A huge one coming from Ryan Kerrigan.
And that one he didn't even see coming by the way he reacted to that. He was still picking himself up off the field.
Marshall going to be taking this punt back around the 29-yard line. He's past the 30, past the 35, up to the 40. Nice block thrown out there. Marshall going to get up near the midfield marker. Calling just short at the 49-yard line. MBL Rams saying quick touchdowns, and it's back on. I don't know about that. A quick touchdown, they're definitely in this game. I think the biggest thing about a quick touchdown for the Redskins would be it might show some life for the offense. His offense hasn't been able to get anything going, especially after the loss of Terrell Pryor, his Cousins. He's looking deep over the middle of the field for Josh Doxson, who comes up with a catch at the 26-yard line. Just as I say it, Doxson makes me look silly. Nice catch and a first down for the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, the former first-round pick makes a tough catch in the middle, and so building some confidence. Hopefully they can get at least a field goal in a 3-score game right now.
Well, they run the ball on first down, and once again, they get stopped on first down. They're going to lose 2 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 12 as Olivier Vernon once again comes up strong. Hey, Kyle, is a lot of what has gone wrong for the Washington Redskins in this game just being too predictable?
I agree with that. I don't want to see a lot of runs down 3 scores in the fourth quarter. I want to see them move the ball downfield, take some shot, and hopefully get into scoring range.
Well, Jordan Reed just made a couple people miss. Look at him fight forward and get in the end zone. Big fella Jordan Reed. What a play by Kirk Cousins finding Reed underneath, but it was the Jordan Reed show inside the 12-yard line. Man, 2-man miss and fought through the tackle. And just as the NBL Rams said, the Washington Redskins right back in this game with a quick touchdown.
Jordan Reed literally and figuratively carrying his team back into this game. What a play.
Jordan Reed, we talked about in the pregame how important he is for the Redskins, especially now that they lost Terrell Pryor in this game to a broken collarbone. Jordan Reed with just the straight-up manly play inside the red zone and cuts the lead back to 10. Unfortunately, it's going to be back up to the Washington defense, who has done their job. They're going to have to find a way to come up with yet another stop. Kyle, is this Redskin defense showing any signs of tiring? They've really had to carry the load for this team.
I'm still in awe after that great touchdown pass. Can we go back to that? That was an excellent catch and run by Jordan Reed. But no, this Washington defense is playing very good, and I hope they keep that up to make this game a little competitive down the stretch.
Handoff on 1st and 10 to Gallman over the right side. He's going to get up past the 30-yard line to the 31, give him 6 yards on the play. Our very own Timbo, part of the NBL Bleacher Report team, saying, does the defense wake up? # momentum. Timbo, I'm going the other way, man. The defense has been awake this entire game. The 2 touchdowns have come on short drives given up by the Washington Redskins. The Redskins have outgained the New York Giants because the Giants have had such short fields to work with. It's been pretty much the defense that's kept watching this game as Webb. Kyle, what was that throwing motion there? Because it looked like he just sort of flipped it out to the midfield.
It looked like he thought maybe he was still at California where he went to college, just throwing the ball up against a Division II. But he's not playing against a Division II defense. He's playing against an NFL defense. He can't get away with many more of those throws.
A lot of Division II defenses that play against Cal?
I'm not a California fan.
Fair. 3rd and 4, shotgun formation for Webb. He's going to be driving back to pass here on 3rd down. Down goes Webb, the Washington Redskins defense with yet another stop. And the New York Giants are going to be forced to punt as 11 sacks total in this game. As Kyle, we've got some word from the chat, our very own MBL Network chat moderator saying, Kyle, your broadcasting is Division II.
Wow, that's gotta be Bomber. The only one that that's gotta be Bomber.
As Mark's going to take this up to the 30-yard line, and Washington got a little bit of life here. We saw a big catch and run by Jordan Reed. What is the play calling if you are the offensive coordinator? Put the headset on, Kyle. What are the Washington Redskins looking to do on this drive? You got to think they're going to have to mix up the play calling, not try to force it too quickly.
Yeah, I want to stay in shotgun. I don't want to be behind center and risk any sacks. Their defensive line is ferocious. I want to see time, and if I don't get an open receiver, I'm throwing the ball away, keeping the time on the clock.
Hello to Roy McCracken joining us in the chat. Good to see you. Also, shout out to the SCNL Network.
Did you say McCracken?
Yeah, Roy McCracken. SCNL Network saying, I'm going to say the Giants will win this game because they look good right now. They do indeed look good. Their defense has shown up in this game and forced a couple turnovers from the Washington Redskins. That's the difference. It always is the difference in these games, folks. Turnovers end up determining the game so much. It's on 2nd and 10. It's going to be a handoff to Pirine. Is it time to abandon the run if you're the Washington Redskins? Pirine has 9 carries for 14 yards.
Yeah, I said that before, and I'll say it again. I don't like the running plays right now. You're down by 2 scores, 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Pass the ball.
And it's Cousins deep in the pocket. He's got all the time in the world. Looking for a deep out. What a catch by Davis on the right side. And now with 3 minutes to go, Washington converts a huge 1st down. They're just shy of midfield at the 47-yard line. 2:56 in count. 3 wide receivers for Kirk Cousins. Pirine in the backfield. Jordan Reed also on the field. Play action pass. It's Cousins, lots of time, looks over the middle of the field. He finds Davis once again, back-to-back big catches. Washington's offense is rolling, and the crowd back into this game. Kyle, there is life in Washington.
The backup tight end making some huge plays. He could start in tight end for most teams, but he is really taking his team up to another level right now. The momentum is on Washington's side.
Cousins driving back to pass on 1st and 10. He finds Davis for the 3rd straight play, down to the 19-yard line. We do have an injury on the play. We'll find out who that was and what the length of the injury when you do. 2:27 to go. Davis's 3rd straight catch. This offense, they lost Terrell Pryor earlier in this game, but Kirk Cousins in the 4th quarter has found a way to utilize the other receivers and, of course, Jordan Reed. And now with 2:27 to go, this Washington Redskins team, the big one, not turning the ball over here, folks. They need at least a field goal out of this drive. Cousins in the shotgun, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers split out to the left side. Cousins dropping back to pass on 1st and 10. He's looking over the middle of the field as Josh Doxson, who can't come up with the catch. It's an incomplete pass. It is Olivier Vernon. They're going to say he's been back on the field. So a big sigh of relief for your Giants fan. But Josh Doxson, he's had a couple drops in this game, Kyle.
Yeah, and if I'm Washington right now, I'm actually going to I would love to see them use the tight end as a decoy, isolated on one side of the field after 3 straight catches on the previous downs, and then hit the open receiver on the opposite side of the field. Split that tight end out and have them focus the defense on that side of the field.
2 wide receivers split out to the left, 2 wide receivers split out to the right. Pirine in the backfield as Kirk Cousins is in the shotgun. 2nd and 10, 2:23 to go here in the game. Cousins driving back to pass, looks over the middle field. It's Jordan Reed once again. He fights forward to the 1-yard line. Jordan Reed coming up huge for the Washington Redskins. They've got a 1st and goal from the 1.
Jordan Reed has showed up to NBL Live, and he's looking to take his team into the deep 4th quarter, hoping to get a lead here.
Are you surprised the Redskins aren't showing a little more urgency?
Welcome to the network, baby.
Shout out to SCNL Network for the sub. We appreciate you subscribing to the NBL Network. Are you surprised the Redskins burned all that clock and took it all the way down to the 2-minute warning?
They burned maybe 10 seconds there. I'm a little surprised. They still have 3 timeouts. They get a touchdown or a field goal here, hopefully a touchdown. They kick the ball off. 3 timeouts, they still have time.
NBL tout saying, man, you should be running up to that line. Jay Evans said it should have gone no huddle. Use the 2-minute warning to his advantage. It's going to be handoff to Pirine. They're still trying to get the run game going. It goes nowhere, and they're going to have to use one of their timeouts because Pirine goes down with an injury. Oh, that could have been the nail in the coffin, and the decision to not run the no huddle comes back to bite the Washington Redskins.
On the 1 yard line, you take the ball outside like that? I don't understand the play calling on that one.
Man, oh man, it just keeps coming as they hand up to Thompson. Thompson walks up the middle. Kyle, what were we saying? Running up the middle against the New York Giants. The Thompson gets into the end zone. Cut it to a 2016 game, minute 54 to go. This extra point, all important to make sure that this stays a field goal game. We've seen field goal kicking has been an issue for both teams as this one is up. It is good. It is 2017. And Kyle, let me take you back. As P. Ryan goes out with cramps, and again, no doubt that cramps hurt. No doubt on that. But you forced your team to use one of those precious timeouts because you couldn't get off the field.
Yeah, if you got cramps and I find out that you stayed on the field and cost your team a timeout from that, I'm the head coach. You're hearing about that tomorrow in the meeting room.
Washington's going to kick this one deep, but Kyle, I want you to hop in your DeLorean. Let's take a trip back. Let's go back in time to the third quarter when Washington missed a field goal. I know you're not great at the math, but what would the score be if that one went through the old goalpost from 38 yards out?
Well, if a field goal is 3 points
Sure.
and they have 17 right now,
Yep.
I think you would add 3 on top of 17.
Yeah, which gives you...
Hold on.
Take off your socks.
Yeah, they're really missing that field goal right
Comes back to bite them. I mean, also on the flip side of you, the New York Giants, that missed extra point keeps Washington within a field goal as they're going to run it here on 1st and 10. Nice tackle on the outside, bringing down Gallman for no gain. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Washington uses their second timeout. There's still life in Washington, but they need a stop and make sure that no one gets a first down.
And I better see another run here by New York. There is no reason to pass the ball yet. Make them use their last timeout and go for the game-clinching 3rd down conversion.
Our very own Homer saying big fumble coming. We'll see if Nostradamus is in the chat as on 2nd and 10, it's an I formation. It's a play-action pass. It looks like it tried to throw it. It's complete to Odell Beckham Jr. Oh, man, and that's going to do it, folks. Washington used their last timeout. New York's just going to be able to kneel this one out. The play-action pass works beautiful. And who else? Odell Beckham, 5 catches, 114 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The New York Giants, they run through Odell Beckham. We knew this from the beginning, Kyle. How do you stop this guy?
I don't know, but you need some brass for that play call. They went for the win there, and they got it. Hats off to the New York head coach for calling that play, having the guts to call that play.
Yeah, the rush just didn't quite get there in time. New York's going to escape with a 2017 lead as we're just waiting to get this one kneeled out. Homer bringing up a great stat, 214 total yards for the New York Giants, 114 for Odell Beckham as he crosses the 1,000-yard mark. So let's set aside the New York Giants for a second. The Washington Redskins can drop to 4-7. I think we all pretty much agree that probably eliminates them from playoff contention. They probably would need to win out to really have a chance at that. But did this Washington Redskins team show you anything today? Maybe defensively, offensively in the fourth quarter? What did this Washington Redskins team show you?
You know, I expected a close game, if you remember before the pregame picks.
Don't pat yourself on the back.
The division games could never take records into consideration. There's never anything taken for granted. I expected this close game, but I was not expecting the way this Washington defense played and held tough and played an exceptional game against the New York offense.
All right, well, let's look on the flip side. The New York Giants came in, again, that number 3 offense, that number 2 defense. Defense played well, sort of got a little lax in the fourth quarter. The offense, I don't think, looked very good with Davis Webb at the helm. They struggled moving the ball against the Washington Redskins defense that, frankly, isn't very good. Does this make you start to question how good the New York Giants really are?
You know what? I don't know. Davis Webb started off the game very good. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think he was 6 of 8, over 10 yards of passing attempt. But after that bonehead 3rd and long throw before half, his confidence completely went to the floor. I'm guessing that has a lot to do with the talking he got from his head coach.
Well, that is going to do it for this game, folks. The New York Giants escape with a victory. They win 20-17 on the road in Washington. And now it's time for our selection for the NBL Live Player of the Game here for broadcast number 127, folks. Lots of broadcasts here. Again, if you want to check out the archives of all of our Player of the Game selections, head over to our website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Under the NBL Live tab, you can check out our Player of the Game selections all the way back to broadcast number 1. It's a fun look back at the history of the NBL. Kyle, there are a lot of names I want to give because Goodson had 2 interceptions. Those were both huge. But at the end of the day, Odell Beckham had all 3 touchdowns for the New York Giants. It's the Odell Beckham show. I mean, what a game this guy had. He had a beautiful catch in the back of the end zone. He caught one underneath. He really was the engine for this offense. You got to give it to Odell Beckham, right?
Yeah, there's not really any question. You'd like to give the defense a little pat on the back every now and then, but after 3 touchdowns and including the game-sealing catch, there's no question in my mind the game ball goes to Odell Beckham.
Yeah, and you got to say, no game ball is going to the kickers on either side. It was a kicking nightmare out there. OBJ, Odell Beckham, your NBL Live Player of the Game selection for broadcast number 127. And again, folks, if you want to check out our Player of the Game selections, it's at our website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Also, under the Join tab, you can check out if you want to apply for the NBL. It's a simple application. Put your name in there. You can get into our development league, the Grid, and you can work your way up to the NBL. It's a lot of fun. So if you're interested in applying, head over to the website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Well, it was an interesting game. It was a game where I saw my co-host get put in timeout for an entire quarter. Kyle, are you going to have words with your computer after this game?
I most definitely am. The first time for everything it does it during NBL Live. Are you kidding me? What the heck?
Congratulations. Your computer, if anybody needs a computer, contact my co-host. He might have one to sell you for a cheap price.
Or parts of one.
Well, one that's got thrown out a window. That's fine. For my co-host, Kyle, the Flat Killer, Matt Miller, I'm OSU. Your final score once again from this Week 12 matchup. The New York Giants escape on the road, 20-17. Hit that subscribe button so you know next time we're live, because we would love to see you once again here on the NBL Network. Check out the schedule on our NBL Network update that was posted on Monday so you know when the shows are coming out this weekend, and we'll catch you next time right here on NBL Live.